And good early morning to you, YouTube. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Dirk here at GC Blues 45. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And to the people I met at the Enterprise Center, thank you for hopefully you guys tune in. And I've been noticing I've been getting some new subscribers. Thank you. It's real great. I noticed my totals are going up. I'd like to try to get to 200 subscribers before the NHL playoffs start. Let's do it. I think I can do it. I think I can. So without further ado, let's get right into the post-game report like I promised. Now, we are going to look into the playoffs. I do want to say this. The Western Conference is a lock. The Western Conference is done. But the Eastern Conference is a different story. And we'll get to that. So let's do it. Once again, folks, if you haven't come across this video and happen to like it, let's get that thumbs up doodle going. It helps keeps the channel going and helps me much more. And remember, folks, tell your friends about my channel if they love hockey. You know. And by the way, I do also want to mention during the off season of the NHL, I'm expanding to MLB and I'm also expanding to MLS and UFL. Oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. We're starting off with New Jersey at Boston. Entering this matchup. Oh, here we gotta go to that. There. How can I explain about the game to you as if I'm not on it? Okay, here we go. Starting off with New Jersey and Boston. Enter this matchup. New Jersey was 41, 32, and 7, and 89 points. Excuse me. Boston 33, 39, and 9, and 75 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, it was tied 4-4, had to go to overtime, and Boston wins in overtime by the score of 5-4. Here we go. Shots on goal were the Devils 26, the Bruins 24. The Devils had 20 saves with the Bruins 21. New Jersey went 2 for 2 on the power play with Boston 0 for 2 on the power play. And New Jersey wins the series 2-1. 2-1-0 was the record. And the goals were tied 12 all. 12 all on the goals. You know, I had to say this. This was an evenly matched game. Boston played a full. Let me double check this. Okay, the goal came at minute 30. Basically, 61 and a half minutes of hockey. I have to admit, they did. And I have to give my props to Boston for playing a good, tough game, even though they lost. And they're playing for draft lottery position. Meanwhile, for New Jersey, they get the win. They get their 2 points, continuing their dominance, and pretty much will take on Carolina in the first round of the playoffs. So, um, and we'll get to that when we get to the playoffs outlook. But I had to say, this was a great game by both teams. And, you know, I look at the highlights on NHL Network to give my take also. And you could tell pretty much um, both teams played a great game. So I have to give props to both teams. Now, like I said, despite Boston losing in overtime, at least he did okay. And, you know, I'm not disappointed. And for you Boston fans, if you disagree with me, I'm sorry. But that's just my opinion, you know. And, you know, we all have different opinions. Am I right? We're allowed to have different opinions. All right, next was Toronto at Buffalo. Entering this matchup, Toronto was 50, 26, and 4 and 104 points. Buffalo 35, 38, and 7 and 77 points. At the end of 60 minutes, the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Buffalo Sabres by a score of 4-0, and it is a Pepsi Zero Sugar shutout, even though I'm drinking Baja Blast Zero Sugar. But the official soft drink of the NHL is Pepsi Zero Sugar. So it's a Pepsi Zero Sugar shutout. Shots on goal were the Maple Leafs 32, the Sabres 35. The Leafs had 35 saves with the Sabres 28. And both teams were 0 for 2 on the playoffs. And Toronto wins the series. They sweep the series 3-0. 3-0 was their record. And they win on goals. They outscore the Sabres 15-6. What to say about this game? After one, it was evenly matched. Even after two, it was evenly matched. Even though Toronto has scored and they're up 1-0, it was evenly matched. But then in the third period, the Maple Leafs, they just wanted to get the game over with, bury the Sabres, and that's why they won. And the Sabres, they just stopped trying after that first goal. Basically, when that first goal happened, they're like, we're not going to try no more. We're not even going to try to win this game and stuff. So be it, right? So, way to go by Toronto. They, they crease. And I also want to congratulate the Toronto Maple Leafs of being the Atlantic Division champion. So, way to go. Thank you, Toronto. You are the Atlantic Division champion. So, way to go. Next, I hate this series. The Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks took on the Ottawa Senators. Going into the matchup, Chicago was 24-46 and 11 and 59 points. Ottawa 44-30 and 6 and 94 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, it was tied 3-3 and had to go to overtime. And in overtime, Chicago had to beat the Senators 4-3. I hate Chicago. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Shots on goal were the Hawks 16 and the Sens 37. The Blackhawks had 34 saves, but the Sens 12. Chicago went 1 for 3 on the power play, with Ottawa 2 for 3 on the power play. And the series was tied. Now, get this. You ready for this? 1-0-1. Both teams both had one win, no losses, and one OTL, because both games went into overtime. Yeah. Also, both teams picked up 3 points, and they tied on goals 7-all. Basically, the score from the first game that they had between each other was the same score in this game. Go figure. Now, what I gotta say about this game? Um, Chicago wanted this win more, and I hate when they win, because people say, "Oh, Dirk, you live in Illinois. You should root for the Blackhawks." First off, I live nowhere near or close to Chicago. And the only teams I root for that are in Chicago, there's only three: the Bulls of the NBA, the Chicago Sky of the WNBA, and the White Sox. The White Sox, I'll set the White Sox. Okay, literally, I'll set them. But any other team, I will never root for the Cubs. Literally, I will never root for the Cubs. And I will definitely not root for the Blackhawks. Literally, I will never root for the Chicago Blackhawks. Literally, I will not. Um, Ottawa did try. This was an evenly matched game. It was. So Ottawa did play a full game. They played. But Chicago wanted to win more, and that's why they got it. But you also got to remember, Chicago played for draft position, and go figure. So, okay, next was I keep forgetting that these games got change of times. I got to go to the Columbus and Philly game. See, folks, let me tell you something. As you know, I got sheets. I type up the sheets. See, I got the sheets right here. I type them up, print them on my printer. And after I type the sheets, the games get different times, which is kind of weird. But what can I do? I can't do nothing about it. No, I can't do nothing about it. But so be it. So, therefore, I gotta go like this. I gotta do like this. All right, next was Columbus at Philadelphia. Entering the matchup, Columbus was 38, 33, and 9, and 85 points. Philadelphia 33, 37, and 10, and 67 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Columbus Blue Jackets beat the Philadelphia Flyers by a score of 3-0, and it's another Pepsi Zero Sugar shutout. Yeah. Shots on goal were the Jackets 34 and Philly the Flyers had 29. The Blue Jackets had 29 saves with the Flyers 31. And Columbus went 1 for 2 on the power play with Philadelphia 0 for 3 on the power play. And the series was tied. In the 4 games, series was tied. Both teams got 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 OTL. Basically 5 points each. But Columbus wins on the goals. Basically, they outscored the Flyers 13-12. It's kind of weird. You see that way. What to say about this game? It was evenly matched after 1. And then somehow the Blue Jackets are like, we're going to bury this game. We're going to end it. And the Blue Jacket. So, what? Hold on here. I discarded the sheet because I forgot there was another game. Okay, so where are they? And Columbus is like, okay, we're going to put this game in the grave and we're done. And that's what they did. In the second period, they scored 2 and they put a Shannon goal in, and that's why they won. Flyers, they just did not want to win. They did not. They just did not want to try, and that's pitiful. I don't like when teams don't want to try and win. Now, I'm no fair weather fan. Okay, I'm no fair weather fan, but can you at least put some effort in? Literally, put some effort in it. Don't just quit. But that's what Buffalo did tonight, and that's what Philadelphia did. So can't do anything about that. All right, next was the Panthers at the Lightning. Now, once again, folks, this game was a good first round matchup between two good teams that are based in Florida. Entering the matchup, Florida was 47, 30, and 4, and 98 points. Tampa, 46, 26, and 8, and 100 points. And folks, after 60 minutes, the Tampa Bay Lightning clobbered the Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions, by the score of 5-1. 5-1. Really? That sounds weird, right? Yeah. So here we go. Shots on goal were the Bolts 31, the Panthers 24. The Lightning had 23 saves with the Panthers 26. Tampa was 1 for 5 on the power play with Florida 0 for 4 on the power play. And the series tied. Each team got 2 wins, no losses, and no OTLs. But Tampa outscores Florida 12-7. Yeah, they outscored 12-7. What can I say about this game? Um, Tampa total dominance in this game. I mean, they just wailed on the Panthers. The Panthers were the tired team and could not get anything except for that one goal in the second period. Makes you wonder, were they even trying? Um, I think they did try to put an effort in, but it was not enough. Especially, they're the tired team and they are technically in. So you gotta wonder. But Florida, after Tampa scored their fourth goal, and then the Panthers scored, and in the third period, they're like, nope, we're not even going to try no more. And so Tampa wins. And folks, I think it's going to be a great first round matchup between these two teams. They're going to go at it. I mean, they're literally going to go at it in the first round. I mean, I think they're going to go tooth and nail. I mean, they're literally going to go tooth and nail in the first round. So we'll wait and see. All right. All right, now I discard the sheet because now we got the game that right. These games did not get their change of time, so now we can get into it. Next was the Washington Capitals at the New York Islanders. Entering this matchup, the Caps were 50, 21, and 9 and 109 points. Islanders 35, 33, and 12 and 82 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Washington Capitals beat the New York Islanders by a score of 3-1. Shots on goal were the Caps 36, the Islanders 33. The Capitals had 32 saves with the Isles 33. Weird, right? Washington went 1 for 4 in the power play with the Isles, and with the New York Islanders 0 for 4 in the power play. And Washington wins the series 2-1. 2-1-0 was their record against the Isles, and both teams tied in goals 9-all. What to say about this one? After one period, it was evenly matched, even though Washington had a 1-0 lead. Washington then scores again. It was 2-0, and Washington put a third goal in, and then, of course, New York, the Islanders get one goal at least in the third. So, did the Islanders play a full 60 minutes? I think they played about 30 minutes of this game. Try to come back, but didn't do it. So I have to say, pretty good effort for the Islanders in this game. But Washington wanted this win more. That's why they are the best team in the East. So, oh, and let's see if good old Ovi scored, and he did not. But we had a Hattie. We had a Hattie. Daryl Strom got a Hattie. So way to go for Daryl Strom. And I think he got one the first Thursday of the night won the star. I think he got top star of the night. You can watch NHL Network and find out who got the 3 stars of the night for them. All right, folks. The moment you're waiting for. As you know, I went to the game tonight. Blues at home against Utah. Folks, now let me tell you, if we win in regulation, no matter what happens with the Wild or with the Flames, we're in. We punch our ticket. If we lose, we got to do the other scenarios. So what happened? I'll get to it right now. Utah at St. Louis. Now Utah was the tired team. They were at 38, 30 and 3 and 89 points. And also they're playing for draft position. Draft lottery position. The Blues 43, 30 and 8, not 7, and 95 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Blues, literally the Blues, cream the Utah Hockey Club, but a score of 6-1. Yes, and the ticket is punched. We are in the playoffs. Yeah. yes, 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 yes. We're in the playoffs. Ooh, ooh, sorry. Sorry for that yawn. If I make you guys yawn, I'm sorry. Shots on goal were the Blues 29, Hockey Club 23. The Blues had 22 saves with the Hockey Club 23. Blues went 3 for 6 on the power play, and Utah went 1 for 4 on the power play. And the series was tied 2 games each. 2-0 was their record, but the Blues outscored the Utah Hockey Club by the score of 12-10. 12-10. Yeah. Oh boy. Utah really did not come prepared. They thought, no, okay, we gotta help out teams. We gotta help out Calgary. We gotta help out Minnesota. So what are we gonna do? Well, the Blues just came blaring. After the first period, the Blues literally was in control 4-0 after one. And of course, Utah, they got one in the second, but the Blues were like, hey, we got this in the seat. Let's try to get some insurance goals. And they get 2 more, and that's why they did it. And the Blues just came out fiery. They knew they had to win this game, and that's why the Blues did it. I'm proud of this team. I was grateful. I didn't give up hope on this team, really. I did not really want to give up on this team, and that's why this team did great. I am happy for them. I'm excited that we are in the playoffs. So, way to go, guys. Way to go. Next was the Ducks at the Wild. Now, if the Wild pick up a point tonight in any fashion, they pick up 2 or they get a point and go to overtime, they clinch their ticket and the 7th seed. But they don't. They gotta wait until another game. Or basically, the Blues will leapfrog them. But what happens? Well, I'll tell you as we get to this. The Ducks, playing for playoff position or draft position, was 35, 37, and 8 and 78 points. Minnesota 44, 30, and 7 and 95 points. And now also remember, this was my upset special of the night. And unfortunately, Minnesota won in overtime because they had to go to overtime, and the final score was 3-2. So no Duck jersey. Shots on goal were the Wild 40, the Ducks 24. I mean 29. Um, the Wild had 27 saves with the Ducks 37. Minnesota went 0 for 2 on the power play with Anaheim 0 for 1 on the power play, and Minnesota wins the series 3-0, 3-0-0, and they outscore Anaheim 13-5. 13-5. Are you kidding me? 13-5. They outscored them. And you wonder. Um, this game was pretty evenly matched all the way through. Anaheim played a full 60 minutes plus game, and then Minnesota just wanted them more. That's why they won. And thanks to that win, Anaheim punches their ticket. So you know what that means with Calgary. We'll get to them right after this one. So, but good going by both teams. Anaheim, they playing for draft lottery position. So there you have it, though. Okay, now the next game is the last game of the details that we needed. And starting off with Vegas at Calgary. Vegas was 49, 22 and 9 and 107 points. Calgary 39, 27 and 14 and 92 points. So Calgary needed a win, or they need hope for the other scenarios, which is basically St. Louis loses. But guess what? Sorry, Calgary. You're eliminated. With St. Louis's win, you're out. So, but we'll still have to find out who's the last team to barely make the playoffs or miss the playoffs. Who's that team? Will be in the East this year. But let's get to this. So, this game had to go to a shootout. After overtime, still tied 4-4. This had to go to a shootout. It did 3 rounds. And the result of that were Calgary went 1 for 3. Vegas 0 for 3. Shut out. Yep. Calgary wins by a score of 5-4. Now remember, the stats I'm giving you are after overtime. The Flames had 28 shots with Vegas with the Knights 42. The Flames had 38 saves with the Golden Knights 24. Calgary went 2 for 2 on the power play with Vegas going 0 for 2. But despite that, Vegas wins the series 3-1. The record 3-0-1, and they outscore Calgary 15-7. Um, it was pretty much dominance after 2 periods by Vegas, and then all of a sudden, Calgary comes back out of nowhere, ties the game, and then takes it to the shootout. So way to go by Calgary. And I have to say, Vegas, they tried. They played a full game, full 65 minutes, and I have to say, way to go, Vegas. You're still tops in the Pacific Division. You are still the second best team in the conference, and they did great. And for Calgary, even though they're eliminated, they now have draft lottery position. So we'll see what happens with them. But good going by both teams. So I'm not disappointed. And finally, the Kings at the Kraken. Entering this matchup, Los Angeles, even though they were the tired team, were 47, 24, and 9 and 103 points. Seattle, 35, 40, and 6 and 76 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Kings beat the Kraken by the score of 6-5. Shots on goal were the Kings 24, the Kraken 34. The Kings had 29 saves with the Kraken 18. And LA was 1 for 3 on the power play with Seattle 3 for 4 on the power play. And the series was tied 2 games apiece. 2-2-0 was the record for both teams. But Seattle outscores the Kings by 1, 12-11. Okay, so how did I do tonight? Okay, where is that? Oh, there it is. Head on the bed. Sorry, I hit the desk. Tonight I went 7-0-3. That's right, no losses. I had OTLs. So 7-0-3, total of 17 more points to put me at 309, 167, 49 for a total of 672 points for the year. That's actually not that bad for the year. 2 days left to go in the regular season. Looks pretty good. Now let's check out the playoff standings. Going into the final. Okay, in the East, it's Toronto and Washington. By the way, congratulations to the Washington Capitals on being the Metropolitan Division champions. And pretty much the first round is a lock. Toronto and Tampa have 1 game left. Florida is done, so they got the 3rd seed locked up. But it's a lock for all that. In the Metropolitan, the Caps have 1 game left. Carolina has 2 games left, and New Jersey has 1 game left. And this is a lock too. Everything's a lock here, with Carolina taking on New Jersey, but not so fast. But we got an all Atlantic right now, wild card. With 1 game left to go for the Blue Jackets, and 1 game left for Montreal. It's going to go down to their last game. And pretty much, if Columbus can win, they will leapfrog the Canadians, and we're going to have a great interdivisional matchup with basically a divisional matchup in the first round with Capitals taking on the Blue Jackets and Ottawa taking on Toronto. So we'll wait and see. It's going to be heating up, and the Senators even have 1 game left too. So we'll wait and see what can happen going into the final days. Now, for the West, congratulations once again to the Winnipeg Jets for not only being the Central Division champions, but also the President Trophy champions and clinching home ice advantage throughout the whole entire playoffs and the Stanley Cup Finals. So, way to go by the Jets. So, basically, the Western Conference will host the finals. And also a lock is the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. So Dallas Stars and Colorado will take on each other in the first round. In the Pacific, congratulations once again. I want to give congratulations to the Golden Knights for being the Pacific Division champions. And LA and Edmonton are locked. They're going to take on each other in the first round. And the Blues and the Wild won. And this is now official. Um, both teams are done. And while Vegas, LA, and Edmonton each have a game left, Colorado's now done. Dallas and Winnipeg have a game left. And teams that have a game left are Calgary, Vancouver, Anaheim, Nashville, and San Jose. They each got a game left, but the teams under the second wild card are done, so it really don't matter. They're playing for draft lottery position, and the East teams that got at least one game left or games left. Once again, the Panthers are done. Tampa and Toronto each have one game left. Washington has a game left. Carolina has two games left. New Jersey has a game left. Ottawa and Montreal have a game left. Columbus has a game left. Detroit has two. New York Rangers have one. The Islanders have one. New York Islanders have one. The Pens have one. The Sabres have one. The Flyers have one. Bruins are done for the year. So, and I know what some of you guys are thinking. Who are the worst teams this year? Well, let's take a look at that, and I'll give it to you. They're on the bottom. This year, once again, it is the San Jose Sharks and the Tampa Bay. Sorry, not Tampa. Once again, it's the San Jose Sharks and the Chicago Blackhawks. These two teams will fight for the number one pick mainly. And from what it looks like, it's going to be San Jose again at number one and Chicago at number two. But you also can remember this, folks. Okay? Just got to remember this. The team that barely misses the playoffs. Okay. Hold on, I'll be back. Alright, sorry about that. I had to stop her fast. So, now, when you look at the rankings in the NHL, Calgary is at 15th, while New Jersey's at 16. So, what's this mean, right? Well, they're going by the points percentage. So, and Montreal, who's going to be technically the 16th team, they're in 18th. The Blue Jackets, who are fighting for that final playoff spot, they're in 20th. Go figure, folks. But once the regular season's done in just 2 days, we will find out, okay, who's that team that just missed the playoffs? Who's that team? And I'll tell you it when we get to it. Thank you very much for tuning in, folks. I love you guys a lot. And remember, if you guys got any questions, please ask them. I will answer them. And who you guys got for the playoffs? Who's your team? Comment below, tell me who's your team and who you got. And much, much more. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until then, folks, I'll see you guys later today for the pregame report. Till then. Peace.